go jump over from Fair Warning to their 1982 album, which again, like literally within like a 5-year time span, they put out 5 albums. Crazy. Diver Down.
The album.
What are your impressions of Diver Down?
Not great. Not great.
We're on the same boat.
Not great, but not terrible. I mean, it's the album that was never supposed to happen. That's what it is. You know, I don't know if you know really the history of the album very much, but again, another example of a band being pressured by their label into putting out an album, and it doesn't go well. Who would have thought that you can't make people write good music when just because you want them to?
Yeah.
You know, at this point, we had just said, you know, they've done what 4 albums in 4 years, so they were like, oh, we're gonna take a break. Understandably so. But they even said, they're like, you know, we don't want people to forget about us. We're going to put out a song. So they put out the Pretty Woman that they put out first, or is it Dancing in the Street first?
Pretty Woman. This is right here.
So they put that out there, and it was a huge hit. Understandably. It's a great song. But the record label sees that and goes, well, we need you to do an album now. So they did, which led to an album full of a bunch of covers, which generally they do very well.
Yes.
But this just came off as uninspired. Everything down to the album cover. I mean, come on. It's boring. Not much going on here. You know, there's some hits on it. And then there's multiple instrumentals on here. So when you have such a short album full of covers and instrumentals, like it's just not their best work, not their worst either, but it's probably, spoiler alert, but not really, my least favorite work of theirs is David Lee Roth.
Yeah, I hear
you. It's the album that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. Every band goes through a period in their career where they're like, oh, well, what do we do now? And then sure enough, they got pressure to do it. My impression, personally, the album cover looks like a flag for some reason. I understand like it's the Diver Down flag, but you know, whatever. But I mean, overall, I mean, I just want to get into the track listing because there are good covers.
Oh yeah,
on this album, like there's a bunch.
I don't even think I would classify any of these as bad. Like I don't think there's anything bad on here. You know, there's maybe some things like forgettable, and the ones that are forgettable are their own songs actually. Like Hang 'Em High and Secrets, like they're forgettable songs. But I mean, the covers, they're all great.
Yeah,
all of them. It's just, you know, uninspired. You know, like I can't put an album full of covers as like number one unless they're all great, like all like earth-shattering covers. Like, don't get me wrong, Pretty Woman and Dancing in the Street are, you know, much better, at least in my opinion, than the originals.
I actually agree with that. I mean, as far as like the track listing itself goes, for those who are listening to us, the track listing goes, Where Have All the Good Times Gone by the Kinks, Hang 'Em High, Cathedral, which is an instrumental, and then it goes into Secrets, and then Intruder, it was another instrumental, which actually I like a lot, into Pretty Woman.
Yeah, it flows really well into Pretty Woman.
It does, and I think they made them that way, which was good. Dancing in the Street, I think they did a very good job with that, to be honest with you. Little Guitars, the intro was cool. It's like 42 seconds, but it's still cool. Little Guitars was fun.
Yeah.
Big Bad Bill, like another cover. The Full Bug, am I saying that right?
That's a pretty good song.
Yeah. Happy Trails.
Pretty good.
I mean, personally, it's a lot of covers. I mean, for a lot of people, like some people, are like, oh, the first 6, only the David Lee Roth era. Well, me personally, if you would ask me, like, if I went up to someone and said, hey, if someone came up to me and said, hey, what I'm looking at, I just discovered this band Van Halen. I like, look, what took you so long? But the second thing I would say is, what do you want to hear? Me personally, the first albums I start with are the first 4 David Lee Roth records. I wouldn't tell someone to listen to this unless they wanted to.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
me.
I would give them, if anything, just Pretty Woman and Dancing in the Street from here. The
Yeah.
rest, I do like. Having said that, Cathedral is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've always really liked that. Eddie's guitar work on that is, out of this world. But I mean, you give me an Eddie Van Halen guitar solo, and I'm gonna like it. There's generally the problems with any Van Halen, with any Van Halen song don't come from Eddie's guitar playing. It comes from other factors.
Right.
But again, the recipe is just so forgettable.
It's unfortunate that it's forgettable because you think, oh, like everybody wants some, and then Unchained, and then they put out this. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Again, you could tell that they just wanted to put something out super quick because they have a bunch of, less than a minute or slightly over a minute instrumentals, and then like 5 covers. They didn't have to write those; they just cover them. And then just a couple original songs. It's just not all there. I don't know. And then even the last song, Happy Trails, it's a fun way to end the album. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. I was you mentioned Dancing in the Street. You mentioned Oh Pretty Woman. I gotta say those I like. I personally I can't listen to Oh Pretty Woman without Intruder.
Yeah,
that's me. That's me. I love those two put together, like the way that they segue into each other, especially when you like listen like the classic Rewind on XM. That sometimes they put them on there together, kind of like Eruption and You Really Got Me goes well, like just Intruder with Pretty Woman. That's fantastic. I do like Where All the Good Times Gone by the Kings. I do like that cover though. It's a good one.
It's a very good cover. It's a very good opener for what the album is. It's just a shame that they felt the need to go so cover heavy on it, and then their original songs really missed the mark. And I just think it really showed what was, tensions and just not wanting to actually make it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, thank God they waited a little bit to get to 1984 because it's like they waited 2 years to put another album, which was great. I'm glad they waited to do that. Well, I'll get to the album in a second. But question is, where do you rank this?
I put this one right below Van Halen 2 at number 8.
Interesting. Okay. You might think I'm crazy, but I am. I listen, as much as I enjoy it, there are other. I'm including like the Hagar albums and the 2 other albums with Gary Sharon and the last David Lee Roth album they did. Personally, you're gonna think I'm crazy. As much as I like it, when I think of Van Halen, I don't think of this record. I put it at like number 11.
Okay.
Pretty low, but that's me.
All right.
I mean, I'm not trying to disappoint anyone here, but like it's not like, it doesn't like stand out to me as a Van Halen record. That's me.
That's fair. That's a fair right. I like that take.
I mean, I like because I put the first one, second one, like 1 and 2, and then it went from there. But like we'll see where we go next with our next pick here.